A common technique for identifying hazards for safety critical systems is known as Hazop, Hazard and Operability Analysis. The idea of Hazop is that you can create hazards using a structured brainstorming technique. The brainstorming method works by first looking at each requirement in the system and then modifying it with a guide word, and then asking, does the result suggest a hazard? For example, you might have a list of guide words such as not, or more, or less, or as well as, and those correspond to meanings in, for example, a process flow environment that you quantitatively increase or decrease. And the idea is to take the requirement and modify it with a guide word and come up with an opposite requirement to suggest a particular hazard. It's an effective starting point. It's not guaranteed to find all hazards, but nonetheless, it's a great place to start. Let's do a couple examples. For example, you have a pressure system and there's a requirement that says when the pressure exceeds 6,000 psig, relief valve shall actuate. In other words, you have a classic relief valve that's supposed to open and relieve the pressure if the pressure gets too high. Well, Hazop says insert the word not and see what you get. When pressure exceeds 6,000 psig, relief valve shall not actuate. Well, if the relief valve stays closed and you have an overpressure situation, that sure sounds like a hazard to me. And so you will take that one requirement and insert every single guide word in it. More, less, part of, reverse, early, late. For example, if the relief valve actuates late, that's certainly an issue, although potentially not as bad an issue as it never actuating. After you go through the guide words, you'll find out that some of them make sense, and some of them just kind of don't make sense or aren't that interesting. You record the ones that sound like genuine hazards, and that's how you do your brainstorming. As another example, you might have the system shall come to a complete stop within 5 seconds when emergency stop is activated. You add the guide word after and replace within to after, and that's one where it's taking too long to stop the system. Sounds like a problem. When you're done with a Hazop, what you have is a list of hazards that are the opposite of or modifications of or somehow related to violating the requirements that make the system safe. Once you have that list of hazards, then you have to decide what to do about it.